Really smart of me. I was like, why did I not just do it later? Hello, everyone. As it started, I'm going to look really scary. Okay. So I have two other girls coming, but I think we're just going to go ahead so the people who are watching, can you make sure Jeremy's on, Bella? Okay. Make sure you can see this. So welcome to our class today. Thank you for coming. So a little bit about us. We started using essential oils 5 years ago. My name is Tessa Aranda. We used essential oils before that, but we just kind of would buy them from wherever. I went to an esthetician and she gave me some tea tree oil. I bought like 5 different kinds of lavenders from different places, and I hated the smell of all of them, so I would throw them away, or I'd put them away somewhere and then get something else. So we had our friend, Scott Cheyenne Hathaway, had introduced us to essential oils, and she had a brain tumor. She has a prolactinoma brain tumor, which caused her to have infertility issues. And she was able to, after kind of going through the gamut of medications, and then her other option was brain surgery. They decided that they were going to look into natural alternatives, and she's been using frankincense for 5 years to keep her brain tumor shrunken into a manageable size where she doesn't have to have brain surgery or be on those medications, and she's also been able to get pregnant and have kids. So that was kind of our introduction to essential oils. Since then, we've had strep, we've had cellulitis, mastitis, hand, foot, and mouth. I had MRSA. So, and we've been able to use essential oils completely and not use any medication. So it's been really empowering to have tools to be able to use for our own family instead of having to rely on something else, and especially for viral things. I had shingles last year in January. My girls have had various different kinds of viruses where if we didn't have these tools, we basically would just have had to suffer through it. So so it's been really, really neat in our own family and our experience to be able to use the oils. Hello. No, you're fine. You're fine. Yay! We can be real. Like, we don't have to just be like, hello, people of the internet world. Yeah. You guys can like ask questions and be normal. How are you? Over here is probably good. Unless actually you could sit over there, but you won't be able to see the TV. Super fabulous. Well, this smells really good. Okay. Yeah. It's very oily. Hi, I'm Adriana. Hello, I'm my sister. How do you go? So I was just sharing a little bit about how we got started with essential oils, which I shared a little bit with you guys that our friends had shared with us. You can use these for all these different things, and our friend Cheyenne who had a brain tumor and was able to use frankincense to manage her brain tumor and not be on medications and not have brain surgery for the last 6 years. So it was a pretty incredible testimonial to us that, and it's a type of brain tumor that causes infertility issues, and that's how they found it. So her options were basically be on medications that cause a myriad of side effects, vertigo, or what else did she have? She felt like she was bipolar, so she had crazy mood swings. She was on all this hormone medicine, or have brain surgery every 10 years. And that wasn't really an option. So for us, that was huge. And then over the past 5 years, we've experienced everything from strep to I had MRSA, so antibiotic resistant staph, which really they try to put you on antibiotics for, but who knows if it will work. And then I had shingles last year. So I was just sharing about how with viral stuff, usually there's nothing that you can do about it, but we've been able to kind of nip viruses in the butt and not really have to deal with the side effects and the long-term, cold for 3 weeks. You have it for a couple days instead. So let me get you guys your. Here's this. These little booklets in the front. This is a Living doTERRA. I'm stealing yours. Living doTERRA brochure, and it kind of goes through on the front page what we're going to talk about in the class, the different ways, what are essential oils, the different ways to use them, and then yeah. So and inside there's a order form that just has all of the oils and different things we're going to talk about. So if you want to mark, which I didn't do that, but if you want to mark different things as we talk about them or like take notes, that's for you to keep. So I'm going to grab you pens, but I'm going to start the video really quick for the internet people and for you about what are essential oils. So actually, I'm not doing that video. So basically, so how many of you have used essential oils? I know you have. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So essential oils are natural aromatic compounds that are found in plants. And so you look gorgeous. Okay. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. It's so cute. So they're natural aromatic compounds that actually have developed over time with the plants to help protect the plants, to help so they can have regenerative properties, they can have reproductive properties. Yes, I need you to be quiet, okay? Can you go play in your room with the girls? You can sit and listen if you want. Okay. So what's really cool is that they have hundreds to thousands of different chemical constituents in these oils, and they come from the peels, the rinds, the petals, different parts of the plant, and they have developed over years and years and years along with humans to protect themselves against viruses, bacteria, fungus, all the different things that are around them. So in these properties that they have to protect themselves as a plant, we can harness these properties and use them ourselves to help our body do the same thing. So that's what's really a really neat thing. And essential oils come from all over the world. And I'm gonna play a video about what makes doTERRA oils different. And the biggest thing that they'll kind of share in the video is that when you get a plant from different regions, it's going to have very different chemical makeup. So if you think about, we're here in Texas right now, and it snowed yesterday morning, and it was 60 degrees in the afternoon. There's a lot of plants that if you grow them in this environment, they're not going to thrive. They're probably going to go into survival mode, and the chemical makeup of that plant is going to be very different than if it was in a temperate climate, wherever it needed to be. So, but some plants thrive in an environment like this. So wherever the indigenous region is, that's really important to doTERRA. Another thing that just about essential oils, their constituents are 50 to 80 times more powerful than herbs. So if you know that peppermint tea, so if you like herbs and different teas and things, peppermint tea is really good for your stomach to help aid digestion and that type of thing. 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to about 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that's how much more potent and effective the essential oils are. So that also goes to show that less is more. So you always start with, I think that's big. Less is more. So she can hear me talking, so she won't go to sleep. So if you do 1 drop of oil and it's not strong enough, then you can do another one. But we always just start with 1 for basic dosage for most things. So, and then the different ways that you use essential oils in the little living brochure, which I have. In the living brochure, it talks about aromatic, topical, and internal use. On every bottle of doTERRA's oils, there is a little direction that says for aromatic, topical, and internal use. If it's not for internal use, it just will say for aromatic and topical. If it is for internal use, it will have a supplement label on the bottle. And that's kind of doTERRA's way of showing you that that is an oil that was produced to be able to be used internally. So the different reasons, so aromatic use is really good for respiratory support and for affecting mood. Topical use is usually like my go-to for most everything. So if it's respiratory or if it's a mood issue, we'll put it in a diffuser. So we have this petal diffuser from doTERRA right here, which is my favorite one. It puts a lot of oil out into the air, and it's the cheapest one. It's only $50, which is really affordable in the diffuser world. And we'll put it in the diffuser to kind of affect mood and to help out with respiratory. But other than that, topical is usually my go-to. So for kids, putting oils on the bottom of your feet gets them into your bloodstream within 30 seconds. So that's kind of the general, like we'll start there, and then if you have, she's like, there's a baby crying. If you have any, then we'll put it on the area of concern. So if you are having a stomach ache, we put it on our stomach. If you have a headache, we put it on your head. If you have a backache, you kind of go to where, if you have a bladder infection, put it topically over your bladder. My kidneys, a lot of times, will ache, and I'll put the oil over my kidneys. So you kind of just go with the area of concern. And with topical use, you just want to use general safety tips. You don't want to put oils in your eyes, ears, or nose. If there's any kind of ear issue going on, you can put a drop on a cotton ball of melaleuca or basil, and then you put the cotton ball in your ear, and it kind of diffuses into your ear. Another thing is that your ears also have really big pores. It goes to your feet, your hands, and then your ears. So if you put oils around the rim of your ear, it usually will take care of whatever issue you have going on with your ears. And then the last thing is that you just want to be safe with hot oils, or like citrus oils are pretty caustic. So if you ever think about like eating an orange, sometimes it can kind of start like hurting the outside of your mouth because of that oil. That is something that, if you get the rind on your face, I don't know. Yeah. But the oil of the citrus kind of is caustic to your skin. The hot oils like oregano, cinnamon, you want to use a carrier oil. So it doesn't, a lot of times people say dilute it. It doesn't necessarily dilute the properties. It actually helps drive it into your body better because it's over a larger area on your skin, but you're still using the same amount. And then the last thing is that you can use any oil as a carrier. You can use whatever oil you have in your cupboard, just as long, if you get, like, if an essential oil is too hot in your skin, or if you get it in your eyes or in your nose, you want to dilute with oil, not water, because water will inflame that and make it hotter. And doTERRA has a fractionated coconut oil, which is a coconut oil that's been processed to stay in liquid form. And it's really, really awesome to use as a carrier oil because it is the closest in texture and properties to your natural oil of your skin. So it just absorbs readily into your skin. It doesn't stay oily, and it helps drive those oils into your skin. Whereas a regular coconut oil from the store can sometimes sit on the surface and prevent the oils from getting in, if that makes sense. So I'm going to play this video really quick about why. Let me set up for the computer people really quick. We're going to play why. There we go. Share. Why doTERRA? What makes sense?
Are both exciting and promising when it comes to taking care of your own and your family's health. Whether you're applying essential oils topically, enjoying the aromatic benefits through diffusion, or taking essential oils internally, the positive healthful effects of essential oils are boundless. That's why you want to ensure that essential oils you are using are capable of delivering on their promise. You want to make sure that you are choosing essential oils for their potency and their purity. A lot goes into making sure that essential oils are both potent and pure. Potency starts with the plant itself. The same species of plant, when grown in different environments, will vary in composition. When plants are grown in optimal soil, temperature, and climate, they produce a higher quality essential oil, just as nature intended. Purity plays a major role as well. Many essential oils are to dilute and alter the purity. This diminishes the healthful qualities of the oil. doTERRA is committed to providing the purest, most potent essential oils possible. We employ a global network of farmers who know intimately the process of growing plants for essential oils. They ensure the plant is taken care of properly and harvested at the proper stage. doTERRA has also perfectly melded modern advances in testing procedures to ensure the purity and efficacy of each essential oil. Every doTERRA essential oil is put through the highest standard of rigorous and thorough testing. This testing protocol, CPTG, certified pure therapeutic grade, sets the bar for quality, purity, efficacy, and consistency. When an essential oil is deemed worthy to be sold as a doTERRA essential oil, you'll know that it has the highest quantity of active, beneficial constituents and that it is free of contaminants and adulterations. Because at doTERRA, we know the same care and attention, as well as the same commitment to only provide the very best, is not unique to us. They're the same qualities you employ when taking care of those you love the most.
That was interesting technology. I think I figured it out. Oops. Okay, so something that they talked about in there is that the standards for doTERRA, so there's 6 tests that they run the oils through, and they test every batch of oils to ensure their purity, and so they certify their oils themselves as certified pure therapeutic grade. There's not really a generalized certification of essential oils in the market in our country. And so in order to be passed as pure or organic, they basically go through a standardized testing that all products go through in the country. So like rubber for tires and plastics and different things. And so the standardization for something therapeutic like an essential oil isn't really there. So doTERRA standards that they've made for themselves are the standards that they made for themselves are that there's no fillers, no pesticides, no heavy metal toxicity. The soil is really, really important, the purity of the soil in which the plants are grown in, and then the distillation process and properties of the oils through the distillation. So if an oil is burnt through the distillation process, if in any way the therapeutic benefits are compromised, then they actually send them back to the farms and allow them to sell them to someone else, but they won't take the oil. So they showed a really cool part in that video. They actually was farmers harvesting the vetiver in Haiti. So that's what that grass looking stuff was. And so something that's really cool about doTERRA is called co-impact sourcing. So what has been really important to them is sourcing these oils in indigenous regions. But when they've gone to a lot of these indigenous regions, like Guatemala and Haiti, and a lot of them are third world countries where there's not a lot of community resources. They just started sourcing cardamom from Guatemala, and the problem in that community was there were competing family farms, generational family farms that had grown this cardamom, but when distributors had come in to buy the plant, it had been a very cutthroat market. They'd basically been getting lowball priced for everything because of their competitors around them, and they get paid once a year in this industry. Most farmers, you get paid at harvest, and that's it. And so they struggle to water the plants, to take care of them, to feed their families when it's not harvest time, when they're planting, when they're doing all this other stuff, just farming in general. That's kind of the struggle. Well, what doTERRA has done is this co-impact sourcing is really important to them because they want the purity of the oil and they want the sustainability of these farms for years and years and years for these families, and also for the supplied oil for the people who want the oil. So they're establishing co-ops between the farms. And so when they went to Guatemala, we saw a video this fall about when they went to Guatemala and were talking to these farmers at first. And they said, what do you think about us developing these co-ops between all the farms? You guys, you can help each other. You're going to be sharing tools. And they pay them all up front. So they pay them all an upfront, like throughout the year instead of just at harvest. So they continuously have money. They agree on a price for all the farmers in that area. So there isn't that cutthroat competition kind of treating their fields poorly so that they can get everything done quickly and that type of thing. And so they went in there talking to the farmers and they said, how do you think this will work? We're going to establish this co-op. And they were all skeptical. It was funny, they showed the video and the farmers said, well, if you can get everyone to come to the meetings, and you can get people to agree to do it. And now that it's completely established. So in there called Healing Hands, And it's completely run by donations from wellness advocates in doTERRA. You can add $1 to orders. That's how they get the donations. And then also there's a rose lotion, which rose oil is very, very expensive because it's hard to get. So Bulgarian rose is the rose, and I can't remember the poundage, but it's something like 1,500 pounds of rose petals to make an ounce of oil. So one 5-milliliter bottle of rose oil is about $350, and doTERRA doesn't sell it. They have some and they offer it as a promotion sometimes, but they have lotion. And rose oil is actually, it's the highest vibration of any oil that there is. It's the closest frequency-wise to the emotion of love. And so it's very anti-anxiety, it's it's just very relaxing. Kind of like if you think of frankincense and lavender together times it's rose. And so you can get the rose lotion and 100% is $20 and 100% of that Foundation. So the Healing Hands Foundation then goes into these communities where they've established these co-ops, and they're building clinics, they're building schools, they're developing the community, they're digging wells. So Haiti, where they harvest the vetiver, they were walking miles every day to get their clean water, which if you can imagine, just to support your family and then also to water your field, that's a huge task. So doTERRA went in with the Healing Hands Foundation and they dug wells all around their community. And when they first had them, the day that they opened the first well, people were lining up to come and go to this well, and a brawl actually started because they didn't understand that this would be an unending supply of water. They thought that they were fighting for this water that was brought in, which is what they're used to, you know. And so it's really incredible. Now the community that grows this vetiver has running water in their homes. So that's huge. And so this is something that I really love about doTERRA, the integrity of the company and kind of the sustainability of what they're trying to grow. So now we're going to talk about individual oils, and I like to kind of just pass around my favorite oils. So lavender is one that you probably smelled from, you know, other places. doTERRA's lavender, you're going to notice, smells very different and very kind of clean smelling. And the reason why lavenders can all smell so different, and also you can kind of look on the internet and see about lavender poisoning or about be careful with lavender. Lavender is the most essential oil. So what that means is that it's very easy to manipulate and to create Franken lavender, basically. So lavender that you find on the shelf, lavender that you find on the shelves has naturally hundreds of chemical constituents that make up lavender. Well, there's different chemical components that either naturally can be found or can be synthetically produced very cheaply. And so what they'll do is they'll take a natural lavender, they'll add tons of these chemical constituents that are found in lavender, but then it becomes imbalanced. Does that make sense? So then, if you're thinking about it, like these oils are helping your body to reach homeostasis, to basically help your body, you know, go to homeostasis and to heal itself. And so if there's an oil that has been altered and it isn't balanced itself, and then it's going to cause, you know, side effects and different things in your body. So that's kind of why they all smell so different. So this is the lavender. We like our lavender for any kind of skin issue. You know, rash, itching. It's really good for bug bites. So in addition to just relaxation and calming effects that most people know, it's really, really good for your skin. For burns, so we immediately put it on any kind of burn. We immediately put it on any kind of burn we have, and it out of a burn. So it's really, really great for burns, for sunburns even.
Do you put it into a carrier oil first before you put it on your skin?
I just put it straight on my skin, and even on the girls, lavender is very calming. It's not hot oil, but if I'm putting it over a large area, like if the girls before bed, if I want to like rub it into their feet, and I'll rub their back or I'll put it in a carrier oil just to kind of get it over a larger area. But if it's like a little burn or a little bug bite, and I go like this, so you're not even really getting one whole drop. Yeah, you're just getting kind of residue, and then I just rub it down. And then if it's like the kids before bed, we'll take their little feet and we'll put the bottle on the bottom of their foot and go like this, and then we'll rub their feet together. So that's a really, really good one. Peppermint. So if you guys want to open your, oh wait, I didn't give them to you. You guys are taking home a bottle of wild orange. today. Yay! So if you want to open your wild orange and put a drop in your hand, and then I'm going to and then take a deep breath. Don't touch your face because, like I said, the citrus oil can be a little bit irritating. But if you rub your hands together, breathe it in, and I'm going to pass around peppermint, which wild orange is really, really good. It's kind of interesting because it helps with not only energy, but also sleeping. So it can help elevate your mood and to give you energy, but if you use it with lavender, it can help you sleep better in the night. So lavender helps to calm anxiety and help you fall asleep. Wild orange helps you stay asleep. So if you have a problem with waking up constantly in the night and interrupted sleep, wild orange is really, really good for that. So the peppermint, I'm going to pass around. Peppermint is the energy oil, and you maybe, do you have supply? If you're breastfeeding, peppermint you just want to be careful with because it can affect your milk supply. So I've used it for years and years, and it never affects me. But I don't have any. It's hard to say if you're gonna have issues with it or not. But you can diffuse it. You can use it topically on your feet, your hands. I like to put a drop in my water for energy. I know people who have quit coffee who are like total, by or peppermint water because it gives you that much energy. It's really issues as well. Just put a drop in your water, drink it, or put a drop under your tongue. I like to do the water because then it gets to where you need it to go. You can also, using the oils internally, you can put them in a capsule and take it that way. So if it's a base stuff, or you can get extended. doTERRA has capsules, and they're very affordable. You get like 100 for $4 or something, and you can get extended release capsules. So if you're having any gut issues, the capsule stays until it gets into your gut, and then it opens up in there. So peppermint's also really good for fevers, for headaches. So yeah, any aches and pains. Oh, it's also good for overheating. If you're going on a hike or a walk, sore muscles, you can just put it in a spray bottle with water and spray it on wherever. So Melaleuca, also known as tea tree oil. This is one of our favorites. It's really, really good for your skin. Yeah, you're like, Melaleuca. Oh, so Melaleuca is the Australian indigenous name for tea tree. So it's really, really good for skin. It's good for acne. It's good for scalp, dry scalp, dandruff. We really like to use it for, it's kind of good for the same stuff as lavender, more antibacterial. I mean, lavender, it's just, it's astringent. So it kind of helps with those types of things. I will generally use lavender on a bug bite, but then if the bug bite kind of gets inflamed, infected, kind of pussy, I'll put lavender on it. I mean, Melaleuca on it, because those astringent properties kind of pull that out. When I had MRSA, I actually used Melaleuca, the boil on my leg, and then I took it internally with oregano and on guard, which I'll pass around next. So oregano is kind of like a love-hate oil. So I'm always like, it's kind of gross, be careful. And then some people smell it and they're like, oh, I love this. It's pizza and my grandmother. And I'm like, oh, but oregano is like nature's antibiotic. I mean, it's been used for generations herbally and historically as antibacterial, antibiotic properties. And I like to use it in a capsule with On Guard whenever I have any type of infection, and it just kind of wipes it out. doTERRA has a capsule that is pre-made called GX Assist that has basically the oils in On Guard and oregano that can be used in that way. So that they're in like black gel caps. So if you make capsules of these, they melt. So when I had MRSA, I tried to pre-make myself a bunch of gel caps. Which is made of gelatin, and so I don't know what I was thinking because it just ended up in I have like a little bottle and it was like a puddle of oils because it will burn. I use a carrier oil. It's really good for if anyone has candida, yeast, topically on your skin, but you want to use a lot of carrier oil to prevent the burning. It's also good for skin tags. Someone in our family had a bunch of skin tags and thought he was really hardcore and likes to just put it on like neat, which means by itself, no carrot oil, but it actually will cause the skin tags to just fall off. So about oregano. And then On Guard is the immunity blend, or the protective blend, sorry. And basically it helps boost immunity. We don't use it every single day. We use it when there's a sickness going around, or someone in our family is sick, or if we kind of feel something coming on. I'll put a drop under my tongue myself if I wake up with a scratchy throat or itchy ears. And then the girls, we just put it on their feet at night when their sisters are sick, or preventatively. And then when they're sick, we'll put it on a couple of times a day to help with that. It's really good for sore throats. So I grew up with that spray, yeah. It was disgusting, but it feels really, really good when you have like strep or sore throat. On Guard does basically the same thing. So I'll gargle with some On Guard, and it does have in the back of your throat. It feels really good. So that is a favorite oil. This is the oil that I kind of attribute to why we don't get sick when everyone around us is getting sick. Like in the last 2 months, we've been at church, and it's like we're there every week, but everywhere. Like our kids' class is totally empty, and then the next week there's a whole bunch of kids, and then the next week their class is totally empty. I'm like, gosh, everyone is constantly sick. He's tried to diffuse oils a couple times. They don't either. Nobody notices, and then people stay healthy, or they're like, what is that? So it's really, really good to diffuse. Sickness is going around. It's kind of, somebody explained it like a Lysol bomb. It's like putting off a bomb in your house and killing everything. The really cool thing about On Guard is they've done studies, and MRSA is a really one of the highest kinds of resistant bacteria that'll kind of linger and just be around, and it's very easy to catch. And they've done studies with MRSA where On Guard, if you clean a surface with On Guard, it will make it so that MRSA cannot stay. Like they'll put MRSA on the surface for 7 days. So if you clean with it, it actually helps kind of protect and shield and propel different things that are going on. So frankincense is my next favorite one. It smells like Christmas and churches and Jesus. It smells like Jesus. So frankincense they call frankincense the king of all essential oils because it's been used for generations. It's been used historically as the resin. So it comes from the resin of a tree from Oman. And it's been used historically for all sorts of things. It's anti-cancerous, anti-tumoral, antibacterial, antifungal. Pretty much, it's the king of oils because if you don't know what to use and you use frankincense, it will work. It's anti-convulsant as well, and it's a pusher. So if you use this in conjunction with something else, so I get a lot of times if I have respiratory stuff, I'll get like a irritating cough where I'll lay down and I can't sleep because I just have this annoying cough. So we'll use Breathe, which we'll pass around. I'll pass around Breathe while I talk about this. Oh, it's in the diffuser. Do we have another one? Can you go see if there's one on top of the shelf? So Breathe is a respiratory support. It has fennel, peppermint, cardamom, rosemary, but it really, really helps with respiratory support, and it'll help your chest feel lightened. It feels really good. It's basically this kind of like the Vicks that you grew up with. But it will help with respiratory, but I still usually have that little tickle in my throat. And so what I did this one time is I just layered frankincense on top of it because I knew that frankincense is a pusher. It helps whatever oil you put it over. Yeah. And so if you're really having an issue and it's not really, the oil isn't driving, you feel a little bit of relief, but you want to see if you get more, layering with frankincense is good. So when I had done that, I immediately stopped coughing and I fell right to sleep. So then I was learning more about frankincense, and it's actually an anticonvulsant. So that was something that was really huge, is that tickle is kind of like a spastic something in my throat. I've also had an eye twitch. I had an eye twitch for a month.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah, so annoying. And I was like, I know it's probably like emotional, it's probably anxiety, you know, but I had done different things. I used lavender, I used Serenity, which is one of my favorite oils on house around. Serenity is a calming blend. It has vanilla, Roman chamomile, lavender. I used it when we had the tornadoes a couple years ago and I was in my bathtub having an anxiety attack. You put it right over your heart and it slows down your heart rate, helps you feel less pressure on your chest. And, oh, and here's the breathe. So I had this eye twitch and I used other like anti-anxiety oils and nothing was helping. And so my friend who knew more about oils than me at the time, he suggested I just put frankincense right under my eye where the twitch was, and I did, and it went away and it never came back. And so I was like, I said, how did you know that I should use frankincense? He's like, well, you just do frankincense if you don't know what to do. And then as I learned more, so frankincense is really highly anti-anxiety, and it's also anti-spasmodic, anticonvulsive. So, you know, the actual, you know, thing that was going on.
What else did you have that I didn't try to suppress?
Did breathe? Did you smell breathe? So we have a friend who got a really terrible motorcycle accident, right? And he used a ton of oils to aid with his healing. The doctors were kind of at how quickly his healing went. He had a broken neck, collarbone, like all sorts of different, his whole face was crushed. And so he was having surgeries. Oh, he didn't? He just laid there. Okay, so they were planning on it. The plastic surgeon came in after about a week. Out because everything was waiting, and so the plastic surgeon came in and expected they would have to do reconstructive surgery on his face, but all the different oils that he had used, they were just like blown away by how much it had improved his situation. But when he went home from the hospital, once he had healed enough to kind of go home, and he would try to sleep, and he could not sleep because he was having such severe muscle spasms. And so they started using the frankincense on his legs every night before bed, and his muscle spasms stopped. So yeah, the frankincense is really, really awesome. Balance is another one of my favorites that kind of goes, oh, she ate the, sorry. The baby likes to chew on these. Balance, it goes really well with the Serenity. It is a grounding blend, and so I used to find it hard to explain the difference between Balance and Serenity, but I would explain Serenity as like a momental, is that a word? A momentary, I'm making up all these words. Like in the moment you're having anxiety about an experience or about something that's about to come. Balance is more of like you're feeling ungrounded and you're just kind of feeling all over the place and generally stressed. I like the Balance to kind of center you and ground you in that way. And that's something that there's I feel like there's a lot of personality types that kind of need that in general, but also just the world that we're in right now and the pressure of you know, deadlines and stress of just everything that we have going on. This is kind of a favorite. I have friends whose kids have really bad ADD, ADHD, and they put this on them every night before bed so that they can sleep. We every day are like putting it on our kids, like, why didn't we put this on in the morning? Like, we need to remember to sort of just do a regimen. I actually made a roller bottle of Balance and Serenity, so you can get empty roller bottles and fill them up with carrot oil and then whatever oils you want. And I made a roller bottle of that with the intention of putting it on the girls every morning, and then they took it and somewhere, anyway, it's a good idea. So Digest Zen is an oil that has fennel, sorry, I always try to pull a note, but I can't remember. Ginger, peppermint, caraway, coriander, anise, fennel, and tarragon. And it is, yeah, well, sometimes I'm like, yeah. It's a digestive blend. So it's basically, you know, the Pepto-Bismol commercial where they're like, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea, like both ends of the spectrum. If you're too far this way, it will balance you. If you're too far this way, it'll bring you back. So I love this oil because it really balances. So our girls had the flu a couple years ago, and my husband was out of town. My in-laws were here helping me because I had a lot of oil classes going on, and I was working a lot. But then they got the flu, so I took care of them for a couple days, and I would just put this on throughout the day. and they wouldn't throw up. So how I like to explain it is if your body is like on the brink and you put this on, it can either help you soothe your stomach and not throw up, or it will make you throw up because it's balancing to your body. So whatever your body needs, it will do. So I had to leave my daughter here who had been sick, but she was good all day because I've been putting oils on her. We've been careful about what she was eating. And my mother-in-law came to watch her, and I said, okay, just make sure you put this on her a couple times while I'm gone. I'm going to be gone for like 3 hours. Put it on her in an hour, and then put it on her before bed just to drop on her tummy. And just, feed her like bread and easy stuff. Because she's happy and having fun and crazy, but she hasn't really eaten in 3 days. So I get home, and my mother-in-law is awesome and uses oils all the time now, but she didn't really know a lot about them and was, just kind of, she's like, okay. So when I come home, the baby's totally wired and, excited and seems happy and fun. And she goes, she's been great. She felt good, and she ate all this macaroni and cheese, and she ate some Cheez-Its, and she ate this, or she did it. And I was like, oh no. And I said, well, did you put the oil on her the whole time? Because if you were putting it on her continuously and she wanted to eat, then, maybe she's getting better. And she's like, oh, no, well, I forgot. And I was like, oh, that's okay. Let's give her a bath, and I could put some on her. So I give her a bath, and she wasn't even complaining that her stomach, well, maybe she started to kind of complain, like, my tummy kind of hurts, but not like, I'm about to throw up, I'm in pain. My tummy just kind of hurts. So I took her out of the bath. She's sitting on my lap in a towel. And I put a drop of this on her. Literally in 10 seconds, projectile orange vomit all over me. So it was like her body had it completely cleared, that bug, and and so without kind of aiding it along the way, it was like, okay, we need to get this out, all this toxicity. So it's funny because it smells really good, but now the smell of it reminds me of the experiences that we've had when we've had to use it. So it's like the olfactory memory thing, like makes me want to. So Whisper is one that is a favorite. I have a lot of women here at my live class, so I wanted to pass this around. Whisper is a blend for women. It's also good for men, but women generally like it. It's really neat because it smells different on every person. It reacts with your different body chemistry and will smell really different, but it has a really good, I don't know what to call it, powdery scent.
It is very powdery.
Yeah. And it helps to balance hormones. It can aid your body in just finding balance and
what did you say about age? How do you say age?
boldness.
Anything about age? Something in your body?
It can balance your hormones.
Okay.
Not oldness, but just hormones. Yeah. And then another hormonal one. So that's actually really good for men too. Like men have a lot of hormonal issues that aren't really addressed these days because of different things, food, sedentary lifestyle, different things. So it's also really good for that. But if men don't like the smell, you can mix it with sandalwood, and it makes a really good cologne. Sandalwood, frankincense. What else have we done? Balance, and it can make a good cologne. I'll pass around sandalwood for fun. doTERRA sources their sandalwood from 2 different places. You can get sandalwood from, what are the places? India, Australia, I don't know, I don't remember all the places, but basically there's 3 different places where most people source their sandalwood, and the best quality as of yet has been India. doTERRA has a regular sandalwood oil, and they also have Hawaiian sandalwood, which they're exclusive to have Hawaiian sandalwood. And I don't know why I feel like telling the story, but it's really cool. So, like years and years ago, before the king was overthrown, and I don't know all the history of Hawaii, I apologize, but back in the day, their prime commodity that they traded with was sandalwood. And they had these big, huge ships that would come from China, and they would fill trees, and I think the whole tree. They would take the whole tree. And it was very, very prized. It was very, very expensive. They did very well in trade in their kingdom. But then when everything was kind of overthrown and turned over, they rebelled against I think it would reform and become more like America or whoever, and all of their sandalwood forests and cut them down, burned them, and they started raising cattle, which makes no sense because for the land space, it's way less money, per acre. They kind of really hurt themselves in doing that, but there's a family who for generations and generations has had this sandalwood. They have this property that has all of these natural sandalwood trees, and sandalwood oil you can only get after the tree has been damaged. So you either have to, and you want to wait for like hundreds of years before you actually harvest the tree. So they had tons of trees still on their property. So doTERRA was able to go, and there's a man who lives there, and I think he just recently died. He's worked decades on the distillation of the fries and how valuable and how effective it is. Frankincense. It's really, really good at opening your mind to different things, inspiration. It's very, very good for, and also spiritually, it's a really great oil. So they now are to help kind of rebuild. So they've gone and they've been able to get these old hundreds and hundreds of year old trees and harvest oil to restart it. So, and it's really cool the way it all works. Like the baby saplings come from, the other trees. I don't know. It's very sustainable. So I don't remember how to fully explain it, but it's neat. Another one that's really neat is the arbor vitae. So arbor vitae, it's in the bathroom. Can you go get it? Sorry. So arbor vitae is a giant cedar tree that's in Canada, and the arbor vitae oil is very, very good for thrush and yeast. And it's actually, Melaleuca has been our go-to for the last 5 years for yeast, or sometimes oregano. Well, arbor vitae is so much stronger than Melaleuca without the same kind of stringent properties, if that makes sense. So it wipes out the bad bacteria without wiping out as much of the good bacteria as oregano or Melaleuca will. So in that way, it's really, really good for those types of things. And it's good for ADD, that type of thing. But the really cool thing is it's completely 100% sustainable. So the guy who's kind of distilled this oil and done this for about 10 years, something, I just remember that because it's my brother's name. But he has gone, and all that he does is he takes the residual sawdust from the highly sustainable Canadian lumber industry, which for generations and generations, and they know how to harvest the trees and to use them in a very sustainable way. And he just takes the sawdust and distills the oil from the sawdust, and then any waste from the distillation process goes to be made into paper. So it's 100%, like a recycling process. It was on the counter in the bathroom. The baby was chewing on it. Maybe it fell on the floor. Maybe it's in the bed. Oh, sad.
There should be one in there with a white sticker.
There's not. Oh, there is. You in? That's our thing. So I'm trying to think if there's anyone. So lemon is a really good detoxifying oil. We like to put it in our water for a gentle detox. I'll just put a drop. It's really strong. You don't need a lot. And I also really like to clean with lemon. So if you ever have anything that you normally need like a Goo Gone for. If your kids draw a Sharpie on anything, if you get Sharpie on anything, if you get any kind of paint, you need to get off strong, because I know that lemon can get anything out of anything. Well, I'm not going to say most everything out of anything. Do you guys both smell arbor vitae? Okay. Clary Calm is another hormonal blend for women. This was really huge for me. It's good for PMS, for heat hot flashes, for night sweats, for cramping. I have a friend, the oils that are in this individually have been known to be good for hormonal issues. And I have a friend, Clary Sage is one of the main ones, and she had tried all of these different oils individually for your menstrual cramps, and none of them were working by themselves. And she said, I know that they're supposed to be good. And as soon as I brought her this and she just rolled it along, they immediately went away. So the specific blend, it also contains Vitex individually, and so I think that in conjunction with the other effective. My personal experience has been, since we've started oils, I've been having babies and being pregnant and that type of stuff. And so for mood swings in pregnancy, I have terrible night sweats after I have my babies, like the release of all the hormones. And so if I just roll this around my ankles and on my feet, around your ankles is where those pressure points are for your women parts, acupressure in, but I'll roll this along there and then I won't have night sweats at all when I go to bed. So that's a really good for that. And talking about the acupressure points, there's this little book, I'm going to show it to the camera. It's called Modern Essentials, and it's a usage guide for oils. And so I really love these little ones. They come in big hardcover books too, but I like the little one because I kind of throw it in my purse and take it with me. They're not through doTERRA, they're through another company, so I buy them in bulk. But anyone who's here in my live class, one of the promotions that I'm doing is that if you order, we'll talk about the promotion at the end, but if you do promotion, then you get to go home with a free book. But the front of the book goes into detail of what oils are, and there's a little section for every oil. So it says if you should use it aromatically, topically, or internally, and then it says uses and the different things that you can do with it. And then it also has, which we were just talking about, if I can find it, it has a reflexology, oh yeah, so it has a reflexology section with some cool charts that you can look at and kind of see, where would be best to use the oils. And then the back is a complete usage guide. So it's all alphabetical by ailment, and it tells you what oils to use, how to use them, resource. So this is kind of like to feel comfortable going home with oils and knowing what to do with them. And it's funny because when I first got the book, I didn't look at it for like a month. The girl that taught us about essential oils, I would just text her every time I had something wrong, and she's like, "Oh, use this." So like, if you feel like doing that, please do. On Facebook called Elevate with Oils, which our upline on our team had established years ago. So there's thousands of people on there where basically 24 hours a day, if you go in and you say, hey, I'm having this, some comment with this is how you do it. So it's really, really cool. People have started texting me less and less over the years, which I'm like, I want to know you're using your oils, I want to help you. But that group has been really helpful in that way. So I didn't even look at my book for a long time because I was very intimidated. Like, I have to read, I have to know, and just open it up to stomach ache or ear infection. And yeah. Oh yeah. And so if you guys sit and think about your top 3 health concerns or goals, you can check them out and we can talk about them real quick. So if any of y'all have questions about your top 3 health concerns or goals, sorry, I'm going to get up. Please comment in the chat box and I can look stuff up and let you. Here is, okay.
He's not.
11 at night? Yeah. Scars, Immortel is really, really good for scars. So I have really bad scars, and I've used the Immortel the whole time, and they were like total.
Yes, I have one.
Yeah, and I have used the Immortel, and they're but they're not raised anymore, and that's huge. So they've Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, those are really, the immortelle is really good for stretch marks. So I've used, they say that lemon is supposed to be good for stretch marks too, but I don't really get it. I like the immortelle, and I'll just roll some in my hand and like put a carrier oil if I'm going to put it all over, because I have a lot of those. And it really helps. It stimulates collagen production, and it has frankincense in it, which frankincense. So my friend Cheyenne that has the brain tumor, and she takes about 30 drops of frankincense under her tongue every day, 30 to 60, depending upon different things. And over the years, when she first started taking it, her stretch marks completely went away. And her hair was super, super healthy. So she had all these really positive side effects while it was shrinking her tumor. So
that frankincense is good with hair.
Hair and nails, frankincense is really good. Another really good thing for hair is supplements. I was not a big supplement. They're really good, and I knew I should take them, but I'm really bad at taking pills.
Yeah.
And so for years and years and years, I just was like, meh, I know I should. We used doTERRA for about 2 years before I started using these. But it wasn't until I got pregnant with my second daughter that I was like, my midwife was like, you know, what prenatal are you using? And I was like, well, I'm really bad at taking them. And she said, taking them sometimes is better than no times. You know what I mean? Like, having the goal to do it and sometimes taking it is better than not. So I started taking doTERRAs because we ordered every month anyways. And it comes with a cellular vitality complex, a omega fatty acid, and a vitamins and minerals. And what's really cool about them, with a lot of prenatals and just vitamins and minerals, it's hard to take because they can be hard on the stomach because it's a lot of minerals, a lot of vitamins, a lot of different things. And doTERRAs have a tummy tamer blend of oils that helps aid your body in digestion. The other issue usually with supplements is that solubility is really, really low, most supplements. If you go to the store and you pick supplements off the shelf, the solubility levels are about 30% at most. The solubility of these supplements is up to 80%. And so the way they really worked hard on the formulation, and the way they've done it is they introduce surfactants and enzymes that help break down the vitamins and minerals, and they're all whole food based, completely whole food supplements, but it starts breaking them down before you even start digesting them. So they're pre-digested, basically. So we all have this water layer on the top of our stomach, and if you take regular supplements or different things, usually they just float in that water layer and they kind of float out and get peed out. That's why a lot of times people are like, I take all my vitamins, I have lime green tea. Well, it's not really, you're peeing money out, basically. And so
That's why it's green.
exactly. And so because they're pre-digested, they're actually able to get into your stomach and be absorbed and get into your system. So the effects of that is that they have a great effect on mood first, types of things like I know depression, also energy, just inflammatory stuff going on. It really, really helps with inflammation. And another thing, the fatty acid supplement, the omega supplement, it comes from krill oil, which is the best source of that. Most fish oils that you'll find. They also have acid, which krill and red algae supplements is mercury. And so the thing that is then really good for us, this fatty acid, comes from this red algae. And so they use a little bit of the krill oil straight to the source, and and it's called astaxanthin that comes from this red algae. I really love the supplements. I find that when I take them, I don't get sick as often. If I'm taking them regularly, I'm not getting sick as often, and I'm very much more even keeled, which usually I'm pretty up and down and excitable. So many the calcium and magnesium and at the store, it would cost hundreds of dollars, probably $200 a month, just to be taking all those supplements. And if you get all 3 of these together, it's $75 a month to consistently take them. So that was huge for us. So did you find anything in the books that you had questions about, that you wanted to smell different oils or anything? Yeah. For some reason, just came to my mind. Lang Lang. Lang is really good. We like to call it because it helps and also you're having trouble with desires or something. What's the word for it? We just had a Valentine's class, and so this was one of the. Yeah, libido. That's the word, libido. I was forgetting that. So yeah, that's it. And it smells really good. It's a very nice floral scent. It's kind of, some of the floral oils are really strong in the bottle, but then when you mix them with a carrier oil and you put them on, they're really good. Geranium's one of those. Geranium. Oh, the balance that we passed around. Sorry, I'm so ADD. But the balance that we passed around was also really good for. It's like geranium. Geranium is also supposed to be good for hemorrhoids, but then that smells like flowers, and it's really like it's potent. It's very potent. And so the balance is very calming, and it actually, we have found, works better for hemorrhoids than geranium does. So an awesome thing about that. And then ADD. That's what I was gonna say. This is a. And there's been a lot of formulas out there, like recipes for making your own like calming ADD type blends for years and years. But Dr. Hill is the head of the scientific advisory board at Diaper Rash. He really studied out and the formulation of this oil. And what it does is it's affecting your I was going to say cerebral cortex, but that is from a show that we were watching. It's really not the part of the brain that it affects. But a part of your brain that's right behind your occipital lobe, it's your occipital lobe. No? It's right behind your occipital bone. So I want to say it's your occipital lobe, but it's behind your ear. And that is where he said that it's most effective to use this oil when you're having focus issues or also good to use on your feet, but it's really good to put it right there behind your ear by your occipital bone because it's driving it into the part of your brain that really needs it. And it helps with focus, with memory, with attention. So this is, I have a friend who has patchouli in it, which is like a love or hate relationship. And so usually if people have anxiety or they have focus issues, they usually like patchouli because your body needs it. But there's different think of other things that they like, really love, or really don't love. But I love patchouli, and so, but people, focus issues. Yeah, exactly. Who don't. I was in high school, and he could not focus for his homework, and so she started using this on him, and he loved the effects. Like, he could tell it was helping him, but he hated the smell. And so another interesting thing, if there's something that you absolutely detest, a lot of times your body really, really needs it. And so, like Elevation, I'll pass around Elevation, is my oil that I hate more than anything in the entire world. I don't hate any oil. I hate this. Like, this is the only oil I hate. And it's a joyful blend. But it's helped with motivation, with the get up and go, which to me, I go, well, I hate it because I don't need that. I'm constantly go, go, go. But it also helps. It has Melissa oil in it, which Melissa is the most expensive oil that doTERRA has. It's a very valuable oil, and it helps with DNA repair. And so that's something that I really need. There's a lot of different constituents in it that I'm realizing is why I need it. But for some people, it's really good for if you have lack of motivation. It's good for depression. So actually, I really like the smell today. But my husband uses it a lot, and I'm always like, ugh, the smell.
There's something in there that I'm familiar to.
So I'm gonna play really quick while you guys look over the books. What does she want?
The green one, the violet.
Oh, you want violet? The Scout? Kilo So I'm going to play a video about how to get doTERRA oils. So if you want to purchase them and use them now that you've learned about them, how to go about doing that. And I'm also on the back of this form. So all these forms that I have come in the Class in a Box kit. If you are interested in hosting a class, anyone who hosts a class and has people come and order, you make 15% in cash and 15% in free product for having a class. But all of this material is $25 from doTERRA, and so you can have a class without knowing what to do at all. The whole video, you can just play the whole video and it has all the information. But on the back of these sheets that kind of have all the products are kits, and it's going to show in the video the different ways you can purchase and how the kits are important. So let me figure out on here, whoops, share my screen, and then, oops. Oh, wrong video. Whoops. Okay.
If you have oils and products, you will be wondering how you qualify for the product of the month and any other promotions that doTERRA offers throughout the year. So, what is the best way to get your doTERRA essential oils? First, sign up to be a wellness advocate so that you can purchase at wholesale prices, create a loyalty rewards order, and receive up to 30% of your order back as product points. Don't forget to order online so that you can receive 100% of your shipping costs back as more points. Finally, make sure that your order totals at least points so that you can be a part of the product of the month.
There's one more that explains what becoming a wellness advocate is. So wellness advocate, like somebody who sells is the same thing as someone who has a wholesale account. It's basically like a hospital.
doTERRA offers products for a yearly wholesale membership. For a low membership fee of $35, a wellness advocate will be able to purchase products 25% below retail. Choose to enroll with just a $35 enrollment fee or doTERRA kits as enrollment options. An enrollment kit, not only will the membership fee be waived, but you will receive a substantial discount on doTERRA products. We have found that as new wellness advocates experience the purity and potency of doTERRA essential oils and essential oil wellness products, they naturally are inclined to share their experiences and the products with others. To help you on your journey, doTERRA has included in your enrollment package 3 brochures: Living sharing, and building doTERRA naturally. Meet with the individual today to review enrollment options and choose the best fit for you.
I was like, here's the dog. She's like, I don't want that. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh, I turned, there we go. So actually, we're done. Have a nice day. Thank you. Goodbye. Contact your doTERRA contact. So arandadoterra@gmail.com. Call Bubba or I, or the person who invited you to this webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.